And is there any word on Steph's ankle? It looked like he tweaked it right at the end of the game there.
He did tweak it. He told me it's not serious. So he'll come in tomorrow and get treatment, and we'll check it out. But the good news is Steph does not think it's anything too serious.
Hi, Steve. Brian Wood with NBC Sports Bay Area. Both sides got off to a bit of a slow start tonight. I'm wondering, do you think that what happened earlier today in the Capitol had anything to do with that?
I thought both teams were playing great defense, Brian. There was a strange energy in the air at the start of the game, and that may have been a factor. But I saw two teams really competing, and we have gotten so much better at the defensive end over the last week or 10 days. And the Clippers, obviously, after last night's loss to San Antonio, I thought they came out and played a great defensive game. So maybe a combination of all that.
What do you think was the largest offensive issue for you guys tonight?
Not a ton of rhythm or flow. I mean, we played a team that's going to be, at full strength like they were tonight, one of the best defensive teams in the league with a ton of length. And so they did a really good job. I thought they played an excellent defensive game. They hounded Steph and we couldn't find a rhythm. But I was really proud of the guys. I mean, they hung in there the whole game. Our second unit, led by Eric Paschal, came in, did a fantastic job in the fourth to help us take a lead, and we had a shot. But give the Clippers credit; they played really well.
You used Andrew Wiggins to guard Kawhi Leonard. Is he basically your prime wing stopper at this point when you're going against guys like Kawhi?
Yeah, Andrew and Kelly both. There's in this league you have to have size and length on the wings to guard people like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So both Kelly and Andrew have been really good defensively. I thought they were excellent again tonight, and so it's a really positive sign. I love this team. I love our guys. They're great guys. They're competing like crazy. They're absorbing things. They're getting better every day, and it's fun to see them every morning when I come into the gym. So this is a really good group, and we're going to improve quite a bit over the course of the season.
Kate Rooney from Cron 4. You mentioned that you've seen these guys make some defensive improvements over the last couple of games. What adjustments have you seen them make?
I think Draymond's return is the biggest thing. Kate, he's the best defensive player in the world. He guards everybody. He keeps the defense connected. And so the combination of his return plus, everybody starting to understand what we're trying to accomplish defensively, I think that's the reason for the change.
Steve Kerr, Steve, you mentioned you like that lineup with Wiggins, Bazemore, Lee, Pascal, and Watermaker, particularly in the fourth quarter, that really kind of kept you guys around, especially when LA kind of threw their starters back in. What do you like particularly about that group, and what makes them really so tough as far as defensively and making some shots too?
Well, we've got shooters in that lineup, and we've got Eric Paschal to play through. We've sort of just discovered this lineup over the past week since Marquise's injury. It shifted Eric to the 5, and he looks very well suited to that role. He played 20 minutes. He got 14 shots up. So he's an offensive force, and with that group, he's got shooters around him, and we're going to get him the ball quite a bit. So I think it's been a good fit. I think Kent Bazemore has been fantastic. Mike Mulder came in, knocked down a shot in the first half, and gave that group a boost. But I like what the bench is doing overall.
What did you see out of Wiseman today?
I think playing against a great team like the Clippers, a team that has all that experience and length, and that does all that switching. It's not an easy team to play against for a young guy. So great learning experience for him tonight. Every day is a help for him. Getting game experience, seeing all the pictures in front of him, and being able to watch the film the next day and make adjustments from there.
Draymond's obviously done a ton for you guys since he's returned, but he's not really shooting much. He did it a little bit more in the second half. But do you need more from him as a scorer, particularly if they defend you like they did tonight?
I've never worried about Draymond as a scorer. He sometimes he scores, sometimes he doesn't. He does so much for us at both ends. Defensively, obviously, and then offensively, he handles the ball quite a bit and great screen setter. And I think the thing with Draymond is, he's just now, I think, getting into the condition he needs to be in. He played 31 minutes tonight. I thought his conditioning looked better than it has, and as the conditioning comes, he'll have his legs underneath him. He'll start to get more aggressive offensively.
Hi, Steve Kerr Postgame, NBC here in Telemundo. Now the game's over, can you talk about how today impacted you as a coach and your team before the game, maybe even the start and now after the game with what happened today in this country?
Yeah, I mean, it was so disheartening. I think everybody came into the arena this evening just sort of dazed. There was so much going on. The great news, this morning out of Georgia, for those of us who feel like change is needed in this country, those two victories in the Senate races were amazing news. And then all of a sudden to see the Capitol stormed without repercussion at the same time as the officers in the Jacob Blake shooting were not charged. It's such a blatant contrast in how people are treated in this country based on the color of their skin. Thousands of white people can storm the Capitol and not face any sort of obstruction from police. But heaven forbid a 12-year-old black boy carry a toy gun in a park, or a 15-year-old black boy walk home from a store with a bag of Skittles, or a young black male run through the neighborhood on a jog. Heaven forbid any of those things happen. But it's okay for thousands of traitors, basically, storming the Capitol, and we're not going to put up any resistance. We're just going to allow it. So, a blatant display of the inequity in our country, and I think, given that the vast majority of players in our league are African American, it can only affect every single one of them deeply. It affects all of us deeply, but especially if you're an African American and you've had to deal with this type of injustice in your entire life and in your family's lives. So today was a very emotional day, and our players felt it, but I was really proud of the way they handled themselves, making their presence felt, and then coming out and competing and playing a basketball game. It's not an easy day.
Coach Kylan with Cron 4, you mentioned before the game you hadn't really talked to any of the players about possible demonstrations or anything like that. Were there any conversations in the locker room just about kind of how everyone's doing and where the team is at?
Yeah, we had discussions in the locker room before the game. I also spoke with Ty Lue. We checked with each other to see what the teams had planned, if anything. And as you saw, both teams ended up kneeling during the anthem as a sign of our concern for racial injustice. And I think there was an added message today, given the scene at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Just shocking scenes and affected everybody pretty seriously.